Welcome to another exciting episode of the Staff Database version 3. Today we're talking about categories. This is a new system in version 3 and it will take a little bit of explaining. It can simplify your life or it can make it quite complicated. So let's pay attention and find out what we can learn. First of all, you will notice that if you visit a staff member, you can put that staff member into different categories. This system has replaced the old system of departments. This person, known as Bart Baker, is 20% in primary and 80% in secondary. You will remember in the previous version of the database, you had to create lots of panels in that person's contract to split them from one department to the next. In this system, you simply split by typing in the percentage. There are 3 scenarios to describe today. First of all, you will notice that Bart Baker, he's got the simplest scenario. He simply works in the day school, so if I click on unit, that's day school, distance ed and ELC. All schools have this little unit category. Most schools, as we know, just have day school. Some have an early learning centre and one of our schools has distance education. So let's say Bart just works in the day school 100%, and in terms of his financial calculations, 20% of him goes to primary and 20% of him goes to secondary. So that's very, very simple. It splits him across those cost account areas, very simply done. The next slightly complicated one is this gentleman, John Black. You'll notice in John's case, he's working 50% in the day school and 50% in distance ed. Now, his role might be, for example, a curriculum coordinator, and across the board, even though he's working in those 2 areas of the school, 20% of his work might be done in primary and 80% in secondary, but it's mixed, half and half across distance ed and day school. Because the categories are not hierarchical, when calculations are made, 20% of his 50% day school will count as primary and 20% of his 50% DE will be primary. And the same goes for secondary. 80% of his 50% day school is secondary and 80% of his 50% distance ed is secondary. So the categories do not subsume each other, and in that sense, when calculations are made, categories simply get multiplied across unit and finance. There may be scenarios where you want to be very specific about combining 2 categories. Let's have a look at this situation. A person might work 20% in primary school distance ed and 80% in day school secondary. If you want to combine 2 categories very explicitly like that, you will need to create 2 panels to this person's contract. So here's the first one, and you'll notice the panels have been set up so that primary is 100%, distance ed is 100%, and we achieve the 20% contribution towards that whole by simply stating that it's 14 hours out of the 70. So that's a 0.2 loading with those categories combined in that way. And then of course the day school, we can see here that we have given this person 100% secondary and 100% day. So the secondary day school component is 56 hours. So when this one calculates out, it will calculate a little bit differently, and it will put 20% distance ed primary and 80% day school secondary, and it will be combined in that way. This is the most unusual situation. Mostly you will have the situation which we described in the first 2 scenarios. Under reports, you will notice that there is now a new report called Staff by Category. There is no longer Staff by Department. So when you want to print out a list of your staff by category, you simply choose this report and it will prompt you, say, which category would you like the report to split people on? Finance departments, management of our school or the unit of business. Alright, so let's have finance departments, and here it will simply pull up a report split by admin, primary, secondary, etc. And you will see that in here it's got hours per fortnight, weeks per year, and percentage in this category. So the report could also be triggered to split people by, for example, the unit, in which case it will split by day school and distance ed. There is no report at this stage which will split across two categories. Perhaps that will come in a future version. Hopefully this has helped you to understand a little bit about categories. They are extremely flexible and very, very useful, and schools can have any number of different categories, providing they're prepared to populate all of the data within them.